All right.
I'll let you know when we're ready. Okay, we're ready.
Okay, cool. All right. Going on, everyone. We're just going to do this
You
probably
don't.
pretty quick training slash class, whatever you want to call it, on just kind of using Tradovate to trade futures on MES, micro ES. So we'll just cover kind of just some basic stuff really here. I don't want to go too much in depth on some of the stuff. We'll talk about just kind of using Tradovate itself a little bit, about what kind of offers, what it offers in the software, and that's just kind of at a general level. And then you guys can dive into it if you want later on, and you'll kind of have a better understanding and grasp on what it is you're looking at. But yeah, let's just kind of go through it. And if you have questions at any time, just let me know.
Hey,
Just
if we log into the simulation, is it going to save differently than the live
yeah. What do you mean they save differently, like the like your balance
layouts?
and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll show you
no,
that.
not balance, but I mean
Oh,
layout.
no, no, you know what? No, it doesn't. It changes. I mean, it saves it. Yeah, every time. So whenever you leave, like your layout, like here's mine right now. If I leave this right now, I exit the program and come back in, then it will, it'll look exactly the same whether I'm in demo or your other account. Like if you have a
Perfect.
live account. Yep, it'll save it. But yeah,
Sorry for the interruption.
you're all good. If you have questions, just let me know. Stop me or whatever. It's all cool. Um, yeah, let me find my screen again. Here we go. So I'm just gonna kind of. I haven't looked at their website in forever. This is a very informal thing, so it's just kind of like something I wanted to do to kind of get everyone acclimated to what futures are and what they look like in trading them, to see if it's something they're interested in. But Tradovate is just a platform that I landed on myself recently, so there's no real preference here other than I've tried out a couple myself and I didn't love them. I tried AMP futures a few times or once, and a few others. What was it? AMP futures I tried. I had a TradeStation account for a while, but I never actually used it. Um, and I just landed on Tradovate, so that's just kind of one that I enjoyed. Ninjatrader, tried that. But Ninjatrader, when it gets down to what you really want to do here, I really want to get an order flow and like kind of at the price level, what's really going on candles, with the volume that's happening at each price. And so really to get down to that level, to me, the logical path led to order flow, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but if not, I think Dumpster Fire probably has lots of good pamphlets on that he could throw at you with his sandals. Yeah, but anyway, NinjaTrader did buy Tradovate, which is fine, but he doesn't like them, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Tradeovate's fine. NinjaTrader is okay. I don't love it, but a lot of people do. So, in terms of what it offers, there are a lot of advantages to using NinjaTrader, like indicators and things like that. There's a coding language built in that a lot of people do use. um, Ninja Script, I think it's called. Tradeovate's not so good on the indicator level. It uses JavaScript in its back end, and it's a little limited on what you can do with it. So yeah, but it's a little limited on the indicator front. But I use what we use obviously in the Discord a lot to use TradingView separately. So I'll watch TradingView at the same time usually, as I'm watching uh, Tradovate at the same time on two different screens, of course. But yeah, I usually have like the 3 minute or 5 minute chart up on TradingView at the same time I'm watching um, my Tradovate screen. So you'll see why in just a few minutes. I'll kind of go through that. I don't know where KSS in 1211 is. So yeah, this won't take too long. It's 9:38 now, so I would say 30 minutes to an hour probably, unless there's lots of questions, which I don't foresee. But let's just jump into it. Again, stop me if you have questions. So Trade of Eight, again, I haven't been here in a while since signed up forever ago and just sort of messing with it. I don't remember exactly what the fees are and everything. We'll look at it, but I do know they have a membership type thing, but you don't have to do that. You can also just do. Let's just go to pricing and see. Yeah, you don't have to have a membership. Well, that's not for that, but you don't have to have a membership to actually trade. It just costs more to do the commissions, I believe, or more, if you don't do that. So they do have plans though. If you wanted to do the subscriptions with them, they have benefits. It's they have cheaper rates and everything depending how much you're trading. Their micro fees are a little different, depending on how you're paying for it. So they have a commission free membership. It's totally commission free, but it's $200 a year. So I mean, if this is something you may use every, if you're new to it, obviously just go with like the free access. The commissions aren't actually that bad on the micros. As you can see, here's 25 cents per side, so like 50 cents, I believe, for per full contract round there if you're doing a buy and a sell. But yeah, that's what I use, and I'll kind of show you what the simulation that Dumpster was talking about a minute ago and what that is versus a live account too. But also,
Do
by the
you
way,
use the application or the web version?
yeah, no, I specifically just use the application, which is here, right here. This is, and it pretty much is almost exactly the same. The only real difference that I've noticed, I haven't actually even used the web one a lot, so but then a little bit that I did in comparison to this, it's really similar. I think there may be a couple of indicators that may not be available on one that's on the other. But I like the desktop just fine. I mean, they have a web version though that we can check out, but I haven't actually even logged in a while. So except for in the desktop version. So they do have the web version though, and it's practically exactly the same as the desktop version. So for what you'll be using it for anyway, I think it offers pretty much the same stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it between their memberships. Yeah, just a second. So yeah, all right. So anyway, that's what you do. Anyway, if you want to sign up, you just come over to Tradovate, create your account. I don't think they have referrals or anything like that. So if you ever wanted to refer someone, I don't think they do that. I don't believe. But that's fine. Let's see what else can I say about it. So this is going to be trading for futures basically, and let's just see if it shows like kind of.
Can you go through margin?
Yeah, we can go to there. Let's go. Um, let's go to let's go out of there first. Hold on, let me see if this is also okay. So this is like your margin requirement on your account. Let me come back to that in just a minute here. I wanted to see the products overview. Sorry, again, I haven't been on this website in forever, so let's see. Here we go. Okay, there's margin rates, but um, so yeah, this is basically the requirements for margin. I kind of wanted to talk about the cost itself on each trading the contracts more so. Um, But basically, I mean, your margin is it's a margin account, obviously, so you're trading larger contracts basically on a smaller scale. So you still have to have the requirement on margin basically covered. But your day trading or your margin that you use every day, um, I'll kind of show you. It gets a little easier if we actually look at it in action. What were you saying? Oh, I thought somebody said something. Okay. Yeah, let me get there on the actual application. It's a little easier. Some kind of echo going on. Sorry, I think Jaden, you gotta. Sorry, I'm gonna mute you there. Yeah. Okay. I had a hot mic echoing in my head. I was like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay. So anyway, I wanted to get to where the contracts were first because they show like how much the micro contracts are um, per contract and what that looks like, and if you have an account with a certain amount of money in it. I don't remember where that is on here, but give me just a second. We'll try to find it. Sorry, I should have been better prepared on this. Is that where we are now? Hang on, let's do this. Let's do Tradovate fees. It's going to take us to the same page, isn't it? Maybe this is it. Okay. So yeah, this is it, I believe. Let's see. Let's go down. Let's find the micro. You guys yell at me if you see it first. There's ES. So that's the ES contracts. We're actually just looking for MES here. So here it is, right here. Kind of hard to see, and it's like highlighting way too much here. Let me see if we can zoom in a little bit. Sorry. 200%. It's probably a little more visible. These are the fees that they charge, depending on what type of futures contract you're trading. The micro ES is just a cheaper way, basically, to get into futures trading. I believe it's the cheapest that you can do. So here's all the fee layouts, basically. So it shows the different rates too, basically, on the different membership plans they offer. So obviously, if you have the free membership, it's here in the yellow columns. Active Trader, and then they're commission free, which is the basically the monthly or the yearly plans, I think, or whatever it was. So if you take a look at this column, which I can't really highlight, it's kind of highlighting a lot. So starting at that column is first there. You can see that the membership free ones, the fee itself, the all-in rate is 66 cents or whatever, which isn't too bad. So that's not a bad rate. As far as these future platforms go, I know there are some cheaper ones, I think, but again, I tried using like AMP futures, and that was just a giant pain. So yeah, let's just kind of go. This is basically all you do here. I don't want to go too long on this. I know I'm rambling about it. Let's go to the actual application, and that way we can see um, your kind of your different uh, information about the software itself. So let's kind of go into what we're looking at here in the interface and everything, because I don't want to go too long on some things. You can find out all the information about the rates and everything like that. And again, it's pretty comparable to anything else. Let me kind of get into the reasons, unless you guys have real question or any more questions about the sign up process or anything like that. I don't want to dwell on that. And I know I'm probably rambling, which will happen. Just yell at me or whatever if you do. So yeah, here's the software. This
All
is what
right.
the Tradovate.
Real
Yep.
quick, so to get
Yep.
into this, what do you need as a minimum for to place a trade on the MES on the micros?
Yep. So again, you have the different rates and everything for the different brokers, but I believe Tradovate's is like the 1125 or whatever it is total like margin amount. The micro contracts themselves, again, we saw the fees for that. But what you need basically, if you were only going to trade, so if you come up here, if you look at the different amounts of contracts you can trade at once. Sorry, just a second, I have to call. Um, sorry. The number of contracts you want to trade are up here, and you can say if you were going to trade one contract, um, basically that contract is going to cost you. You would have to have the amount of money to cover that one. It's kind of hard to explain when you're just talking about it like this. It's basically like a $55 balance, I think, and I think you may have a minimum of like $100. If you really wanted to start doing this, like at a minimum, probably $100, because basically when you throw in that first order, it wants you to have that $55 sitting there, basically, at least where it can move and fluctuate with your profit and loss. And each one of these ticks you're seeing, it's very low volume right now. So, and after hours, I believe it's yeah. So, these tick moves you see, each one of these moves is going to be like a value of basically $1.25, not $125, but $1.25. So each time you saw the tick move up there, that's basically $1.25 that you could be making or losing, depending on if you're long or short.
And with the micros, that's 1/10 of ES.
Yeah. I believe it's 1/10 of ES. So each ES tick moves every move that if you were not betting, sorry, wrong term. If you were on futures contract here, I guess you are kind of betting. And it went one tick up. I believe futures is what 10 times is that what it is? It's $11 or whatever it is, 25 cents. I think I may be incorrect on that. I think it's 11.25. Anyway, each tick is going to be a lot more money. So that's why you have the micros, which is the 1/10 price. 1/10 of the margin requirement and 1/10 of the overall contract size. So the tick doesn't hurt as much, but also you're making less money on these ticks. But it allows you to trade futures, with a much smaller account. So hypothetically, if I only had, I mean, this is a demo account, obviously, but I mean, right now I just have 10,000 in here. If it had $100 in here, I could purchase a contract right now. If it moves against me a certain amount to go past my margin requirement, it would automatically liquidate the account, and that would be bad. So that's one of the risky things about trading futures. It's very easy to get a huge loss very quickly because there's no top or bottom per se. Okay, I got KSSN joining. That's good. But yeah, that's how the pricing is working. So, and I'll mess around here in just a moment and show you what the ticks look like. I know you guys probably don't know exactly what you're seeing here on the screen, but this is basically every time the price moves up, it's the same thing. You can kind of see the candle outline here. It's not a very well defined outline, but it makes it easier to see the numbers, which I'll look at in a moment. But that's what you're really looking at here. But this is the same thing pretty much as your. I mean, it is the same thing as your other charts, obviously, with your candles, your regular candles. It's not a high-end candle or anything like that. So yeah, any questions about that part right there? Any costs of trading or anything like that? What we'll do is we'll just I don't even know. I don't have this is not gonna be technical at all right now. I don't even know what's going on. There's very low volume obviously right now, but this is daily VWAP obviously with the MES right now. You can probably see this a lot better on TradingView. This is something that I just put on here as an indicator, which I'll show you in a moment. So I mean, if you wanted to go short here, basically they make it pretty easy. We'll get into a little bit of the setup in just a moment, but just to show you what it kind of looks like if you went short. There is a British male voice that comes through your speaker sometimes, but you can see that I went there, and you probably won't hear it right now. I don't know if it's coming through or not. But basically, what I did there is I bought a market order, one contract order of the micro ES. And you can see that here's the blue line here is where I placed my order, and it was a short position. So basically, as again as the tick moves up and down here, the price you can watch up here. It's very small and hard to see, and I apologize for that. But basically, right now, this has moved against me 4, 5, 6 ticks right here, and you can see there's a loss of negative $6.25. So you can see how easily it would be for you to get with a larger order. Let's try this. Watch this. If I go in 10 more here, say we sell 10 more. Now I'm in a negative 11 short position right now. It moved my my average up, obviously, closer to my loss point, or the current price, I mean, which helps out. But you can see the significant loss. It went to $32.50.
Price like times 100, same as in options, or is it just like $1?
No. So yeah, it's totally different from options. So this is not related to options at all. Not this. This is just trading direct futures contracts. It's literally a 1-for-1. It's $1.25 for every tick. So every price movement that you see in here that's is ticking up and down right now is changing the valuation of that one contract by $1.25 only. So, but if you buy, say, 10 contracts, that is, it's not $1.25, it's times 10. So, the heavier you go, obviously the higher the risk is, because you can see it's at a negative $46.25 loss right now. And you can see how close it is to my current average. I have 11 contracts, and right now you can see it's moved against me, and I'm currently sitting at a negative $46.25, negative $60. So that one or two ticks right there, you can see I have 11 contracts. That's costing me obviously quite a bit. It's negative 60 now. That kind of shows you the power of futures, but also the high risk nature of futures. So yeah, no blizzard timer after. That's right, no blizzards after this one, man. That's why you gotta wait, man. You gotta have patience. And I know it's a lot easier on a demo account when money doesn't really matter, but what it's about, knowing your setups and everything, and having patience, patience. Anyway, I have no idea, obviously, if this is something I would have done anyway, but being above VWAP right now, it's very hard because it's in low volume. Again, it's you know. Anyway, I wouldn't have done this normally, but just to show you guys kind of like what this looks like. So yeah, that's placing orders. You can do it just to kind of general. Maybe I should have shown you guys this too. Just a different chart layout. Let me do that real quick. And then we'll kind of go through the settings in Tradovate. So yeah, let's go here to main V3 maybe. Let's see if this is it. Sorry, guys, scroll here. Oh yeah, no, that's not it. Let's change my chart to candlestick. Okay, so that's something at least. It's black and white, but that's good. There's a lot of crazy little indicator things on here. Let me turn those off real quick here. Let's see that. That's good. That'll work. Okay, so sorry about the colors. I know they're a little crazy. If that bothers anyone, let me know and I'll try to fix it. But I'll have to go find where you change the colors. I believe it's in the chart settings. Yeah, there you go. I can actually probably fix that for you. Is it's okay? Oh yeah, no, let's make them orange. Okay. We'll just do like green and red. How about that? Is that the outline or the body? I think it's the outline. Is that neutral? Oh, that's the
Yeah,
neutral.
just go
Okay.
through some general
Oh,
settings.
I got it actually. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry again, it's been a few minutes since I've done any of the setup here, so we'll just take that. I think that'll do it. Nope, you know what? I think it's an indicator. Okay. So we'll just go through the settings here and we'll get back to it. This is a regular chart though. This is what you would be presented with when you first open it. Something like this. Won't look exactly the same, but you have a regular chart. So up here you have basically it'll look slightly differently again. Mine's a little bit more customized, but you have this general view here with the charting. The charting on this platform is not superb. It's very limited on what you can do with it. It's nothing like as advanced as TradingView. It's not terrible, but it's decent. It has some moving averages indicators built in, or VWAP. You can see we got VWAP in there right now, and that's limited there. We'll kind of look at the marketplace here real quick too. Might go a little longer than I thought it would, but yeah, VWAP. Might go a little bit longer than we wanted it to, but we'll go keep rolling here. Again, stop me, yell at me if you have questions. So just kind of looking at your chart, you have these tabs up here when you come in. You can set up your different tabs to look however you want. And if I wanted to make these side by side, you can just take your tabs and you can actually just drag them to where you want them. And it's pretty cool. It works pretty well. So if I wanted to drag those side by side, which I'll go ahead and do, you can do that. You have the candles here, and this is again an order flow candle, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But if you want to have order flow over here and then kind of your delta candles over here, for a few minutes or on this side, then that would be perfect. You can do that however you want. You can set up these however you want them. You can redrag them and size them. Usually I have it kind of set up this way myself with two orders here, two chart panes, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. But yeah, so back over here, I'm just going to kind of drag this back to make it a little less complex, a little less crazy looking. So the main chart here you'll have, and you can hide and show this information up here by clicking on this little settings icon on the top right. You can see that you have contract details, and if you turn that on and off, it will change to show the actual contract details right now. And you can turn on and off the trade mode, which is these buttons and everything on your chart. Stop types, you can put in bar countdown settings and some other options that you guys can play with. There's nothing too drastic in there. No, nothing too important in there. I want to kind of get through the other settings. There's not a whole lot there. It's obvious the breaking out to the full size of your chart and things like that. Zoom buttons here. You can also use. I wanted to tell you this too. You can zoom in and out like this way. If you just scroll your mouse wheel in and out, it'll zoom in like this on the charts. If you hold down the shift button, it zooms up and down, which is very helpful to know when you get into looking at the order flow chart, because you're constantly trying to resize this thing sometimes, and it's if it kind of gets like this every once in a while, and it's
How
really
do
hard to
you
see.
how do you get it to not resize itself?
So right now it's not for me, but it's very difficult. Sometimes it sticks. I don't know. Again, the platform's a little janky, but realistically, you should just be able to go into this yeah, chart settings. Is this icon right here, the square dash square. And you'll see it has Autofit chart and continuous Autofit. So if you click that, it'll autofit it like this. If you click continuous Autofit, it'll give you 3 different options: on, off, bars only.
Yeah, that one sucks. The
Yeah, it does
continuous
suck.
auto fit is terrible.
It does. Just turn this off if you use this. It makes it so much better if you do. Like if you have everything, if you have it on, it does all your indicators. So obviously to try to show all the VWAP and everything, see like that, because there's a weekly VWAP way down here. It's terrible. Bars only will always just try to make it resized. See how I'm zooming and yet it tries to still show me all of my bars in view. Absolutely kind of terrible. Because when you go back, I mean, unless you like that, I mean, use it if you like it, but I like to just turn that off because I like to zoom myself. So if I move here, it stays. And that's how it's supposed to work, Dumpster, by the way. And sometimes it doesn't stick, but I don't know. I restarted it and it's working now. So,
Yeah, it's
but
all
yeah,
good. That auto resize thing was the devil for me though.
yeah, it is. That one's tough to find. Again, it's right there. Uh, and so the settings stuff here is pretty helpful. We'll kind of look at. There's not a whole lot here to look at in this icon. This is the chart type. When you're looking at order flow, you'll want to check this bid ask volume chart type. So I'm going to kind of go back to that here too. I'm going to flip back. You can have templates, which I'll let you explore that yourself, because you can save a template after you get a chart set up, just basically saving your chart layout. So yeah, if I go back to my order flow delta bars here, and then I'll reselect the bid ask volume, we should hopefully get back some numbers. Okay. So not to get into order flow just yet. Let's look through these settings just a little bit more. Again, this is for the chart itself, and just a few generic settings in there. You can show the day volume profile, which is over here. Not a whole lot of volume profiles on this platform are very good, but you don't really need a whole lot if you're just using this for order flow, which is what I'm using it for. The volume profile on the right here is just fine. Let's see. There's other information in there. I'll let you guys explore that. Not too important. Any questions on that stuff before I keep going? Okay, all good. Configuring the chart elements, this is a little more important because this is where you actually, whenever you add, first off, you won't have anything down here. You'll just have this, whatever the contractor is you're looking at. You'll see this, and this is where you configure the actual chart stuff, I guess you could say. So if you're on a chart type and you have your bid ask volume selected, which you can change here, your chart type, leave the time frame. This is again how you set up your order flow. For me, you'll either be using probably delta or bid ask volume. That's what I use here. This is a delta chart you're seeing right now, and I'll explain that in just a minute. These are the settings I use. I'm not going to get too much into those, other than bar histograms is what's showing the actual delta values there. Opaque volume is kind of neat. If you turn it off and save, we'll kind of look at what you're seeing here again in a few minutes. But what you're seeing basically here is the higher or the heavier, I guess you could say the heavier coloration or less transparent uh, bar numbers here are the more voluminous. They have the highest volume levels. So yeah, we'll kind of get back in that in just a minute. I didn't want to talk too much on that just yet, but I usually keep it on opaque volume, just because I like to see not necessarily uh, the level of strength in this view, I guess you could say, as to what I'm actually looking at, the highest number of contracts and orders traded at that price. But we'll get into that in a moment. Again, there's colors down here. These are just generic settings for your fills and things like that. So if you have show fills and show trade lines on, that will show like where you have this blue line here that's showing my fills, my current position, price. And then you have if you do a position, if you open a position and close it, if you have the lines turned on, it will show an actual red or green line pointing to the point. So to where you opened the position and closed it. If that makes sense. So if I ever close this one, it should show a line if it ever actually moves, because I still actually have those 11 short contracts open. But that's basically where you go to do your chart settings, right there. And if you change it to something else like candlestick, you'll have different options. So each type of options here only pertain to the different types of candles or chart settings. Okay, so right now, so right now what we're looking at are order flow candles, bid-ask volume candles, I guess you could say. That's what you're actually seeing here. Oh, these are delta candles, I'm sorry. This one is set up on bid-ask. So let's see, let me go through the indicator stuff real quick, because that one's a little bit, it's pretty quick because there's not a whole lot going on with it. Again, this platform's a little simplistic in what they offer. If you ever want to get some indicators, you can come right here. It says indicators on your chart. Go down to explore community indicators. And you're going to see this window pop up. You can type in here if you're looking for something specific. I changed it to popular if you want to see like the most popular indicators that are on here. So you'll probably use a few of these, and I'll kind of go through a couple that I use. You have these VWAP bands, which is very familiar to what we have on TradingView and our VWAP clouds. MACD stuff, and you'll have this. Some of the better ones that I've found on here are these Tiki ones. So Tiki, this is a publisher, I guess, of indicators on here that have done quite a few. So as you scroll through, you'll probably see a lot by them, and they actually have very good stuff. Well, I think I use or may have used some of their stuff.
Do you specifically use these, or do you just look at TradingView mainly and then just do the big bid-ask candles?
Yeah,
or
that's
delta candles?
Yep. So that's practically what I use this for. You'll see that I have on here, I have very little actually shown on the chart itself as far as indicators go. There's VWAP here, obviously, and that's just those bands that we saw a moment ago. If you come back to this configure chart elements, you'll see all your actual indicators here. So these are your indicator settings. So if I click on this one, same thing as when the chart pop up, it gives me all the settings for that indicator. So here we got the daily lined up, daily VWAP enabled. So you have your regular VWAP checked, and your upper band and lower bands. That's the same thing as our cloud. And the offset here, you can't do 0.13, but you can do 0.1. So it's very close. Enabled only that one. And as you can see, it's giving me the daily VWAP, which matches the TradingView VWAP cloud pretty well. I mean, it's a little bit off because of the 0.13, the tick, but pretty close. You know what I mean? So typically, this is how I have mine set up actually. On the bar itself, too, I kind of need to point this out. This big yellow box here you see on every candle, that's the VPOC basically, or the POC for each candle. So yeah, it's pretty handy to know also. You can kind of see where all the action's taking place.
How
You
do
can
you
also
enable that?
yeah, so that's actually an indicator that you can add, and I'll show you which one it is. I'll have to find it for the VPOC part. So if you go to Explore Community Indicators, let's see if it's in there. VPOC, and let's see here. Yep, so it's actually the first one. If you type in VPOC, it's this one right here. the VPOC of each bar, and you can check that. And you basically, the way you use these is I'll kind of show you. Let's just say I wanted to install this. When you just click on install, and it's going to give you an information box that pops up that says this is installed in your indicators and Tiki Tools / Tiki VWAP OC, right? Same thing here. If you install this one, it'll tell you where it's installed to. And then once it's installed, you'll go back to the indicators box here, this drop down, and it'll be in whatever it told you it was in. So if it's in Tiki Tools, it'll be in there. And then you have the blue out. The blue color shows you that these are like there's the Tiki VPOC right there or whatever. That wasn't the bar VOPOC, but wherever that one is, it's in here. But that's what you're seeing here on this. So once you check it, it shows up in the list here, and this is the settings for it. Just nothing really. So you can change like the box width and how wide it is, and the line width and things like that. But that's all you're seeing there. So that's just basically the highest. The same thing as a volume profile. That's the POC of every bar. So what you're seeing in those yellow boxes is basically that bar is POC. The highest volume
Is that
traded
the
on
the
that
Tiki
candle.
Tiki VPOC?
Mhm.
Is that what that one was? Okay.
Nope.
Alright.
That one, I'm sorry, I gave you a bad example, but that one was actually the VPOC bar.
All right.
So yeah, if you go to community indicators, just type in VPOC, and it'll tell you that's the first one there. That's it. So it's by, I don't know who that is, Sanjay Dubey, I guess. That one there. So just hit uninstall, and then once you go, it'll be in whatever folder it's in. I'm not sure. In the indicators list here. I can't remember who did it, but it's Seth Mo maybe or somebody. So yeah, that's how you add the indicators. And again, there's not a whole lot, not a whole lot of them in here. You can kind of notice that it's really kind of there's like a lot of moving averages and lines and MACD and things like that that are built in that are added on as indicators. But other than that, you got like a lot of order flow things. A lot of this will just kind of maintain more to more like the catering of the volume, the futures market and order flow and things like that. There's a few with like super trends you can add that are just like trading views. Some I haven't really messed with a whole lot, but these are really kind of the best ones that you're looking at right now. These popular ones that you'd probably be looking at to use.
No pivot boss ones.
No. So no, yeah. I mean, I've actually I did orbs in here and it was just ridiculous. Like it plots these lines and it's very hard. You can't act. It gets a little nutty because there's a lot of limitations on things you can't do. So it was just like a bunch of plotted lines and it looks horrible. It's possible, but it's just not worth it. Let's just kind of look at a few of the indicators that I might say recommended I use. Again, these VWAP bands ones, I have the 3 on there because I use yellow, purple, and blue. It's like my daily, weekly, monthly. So I think weekly was way down here somewhere. I don't know. Okay, wherever it was, I'm not going to go down that far because I don't want to get lost. But yeah, anyway, so it shows all 3 of those, basically the same ways as what you're seeing here with this daily one that you can turn it on and off here. The VPOC bar, again, that's that one right there, the yellow box. Very helpful to know. I think you can actually use that on candlestick charts too. Yeah, let's see. Nope, I'm wrong. Sorry, you have to actually be on the bid-ask chart. Sorry, you have to be on the bid-ask. Okay. Still, very helpful to know. That kind of shows you the difference there in what you're looking at, by the way. You can see it's exactly the same thing as far as the candles go, but yeah, no, you're just looking at the actual bid and ask, which we'll talk about in just a minute, at every price level. Oh, look, we're up on our contracts here, $8.75. That's awesome. Anyway, you can see it's green now. That's good. My equity's over $10,000. That's awesome. Okay. So let's see here. Where was I? The indicators we're talking about. Let's see. Stacked imbalances. Okay, so let's talk about that one real quick, and we'll just kind of talk about order flow a little bit. You guys are ready for that? Not a lot, just a little bit. Stacked imbalances. Okay, we'll get into that in a moment. Order flow, basically, what you're seeing here on the screen, you're seeing on this chart in particular. And again, you can do this a few different ways, but what you're seeing is the actual trades that it took place at each price level, and the volume that took place at each price level. So what you have on the left here, the green side, basically this green looking volume side, the numbers, that's your bid side. The ask side is on the right side, and that's the red side. So what you're seeing again is the volume at each level. So these levels kind of pertain to, if you can see here a little bit with this volume profile on the right side, which I didn't really explain, but that's what that is. volume profile at all these levels is back as far as the prices, or back as far as times going for these prices. But you can see it's very heavy through the middle here. So that's what you're seeing here too. You're seeing that these volumes that are traded at these different levels, it's heavier in these via POCs, right? Which is where the most contracts are being traded right now. So oh look, we're at $22. We were. Okay, so basically a stacked imbalance is what you're seeing in these shaded type areas, and they kind of look red and green here. A little bit hard to see, but as you zoom in, you can see them a little better. Let's get over here again. Sorry, just a moment. So basically, what you're seeing in these stacked imbalances is the way the bid ask, the way the order flow works is what you're comparing here. Are the bidders and the sellers, obviously the buyers and the sellers at each price level, and basically what you have on the bid side is you have either, I think Dumpster Fire. Dumpster Fire has some graphic here. He's shared before a million times, but I think he has it probably again if he can find it, that shows the what type of buyers you have and what type of sellers you have on each side, because obviously you have buyers and sellers on each side, right? You have buyers and sellers on the bid and buyers sellers on the ask. Um, well, you have typically when you're selling a contract, or if you're buying a contract, if you're going in with a as a passive buyer, um, you're more than likely going to be on the bid side with your orders, which are going to be your limit orders, right? So say like down here, say I just wanted to go long on MES here. There you go. A dumpster gave us the graphic there, which I'll let's see if I can drag it over. Hold on. Can you guys see my Discord? There you go. So this will kind of help explain a little bit about what you guys are seeing on that other chart, which we'll go back to in a moment. But on the left here, again, you have your bid side. On the right, you have your ask side. So on the left, if as a buyer, if you're coming in, you would be passive, and that would be your with your limit orders. As a buyer, if you're aggressive, you're going to be on the ask side, because that would be with your market orders. You'd be coming in and saying, at this price, I want to buy aggressively. I want to enter in right now. I don't want to miss out on this. I want to buy right now. That's you're being aggressive. You're an aggressive buyer. Your order is going to show up on the ask side. If you come in as a passive buyer, again, if you just place an order at a lower level or something like that, and if price hits it, and then you're going to place a passive order, which is a limit order, it shows up on the bid side. Opposite is then true for sellers. If you're a passive seller, you're going to show up on the ask side, because your limit orders are going to be above the current candle price, or wherever the price you place your order, or where the current price is. If you're an aggressive seller, you're going to show up on the bid side on the bid ask candles.
And
Um,
and with that,
mhm,
once again, generally 98% of the time I'm placing limit orders, buy this at this,
right.
you click
Yep.
the
Yep.
buy market button or, sell market button. That's the difference.
Yep. So that's what yeah, if you're doing the buy market, sell market, that's what you're going in as aggressive, right? So, you know, that's what you're looking at there. If you, so basically right now, if I hit sell market, then I'm coming in on the bid side. If I buy market, I'm coming in on the ask side, because I would be aggressively trying to buy the contract at that price, right? Um, which you can see here, I only have market orders up, but you can do limit orders, and you can actually just even click on the chart here. So if you click it once and don't like click and drag or whatever, it actually just says, hey, you want to do a stop order or a limit order, which is pretty handy. Say if you wanted to have some limit orders down here below this VWAP, you could do that and say, oh yeah, I wanted to buy one limit, and it's got an order in now. So you can see it's actually right there on my screen, and it shows up, and I can drag it up and down too on the chart here. So if I actually drag this up and down, it would move my limit order in real time. So there you go. Now, if the price comes down here, it will place an order, a limit order, a buy limit order. That would show up on the bid side in the candle right here on this price, wherever it hits it. So that's what you're seeing. So when you see all these numbers popping up here on these candles right now, again, these are bid ask candles. You're seeing buyers and sellers, obviously, at each. And let me say this to you. Okay, I'll explain what that's showing right there. But you can see we're up $50 right now on our contracts. Um, So if I wanted to close this position, by the way, I could do that right now and I just hit buy. You hit the opposite. So if I wanted to buy my 11 contracts back, get out right there. Okay, I think I actually got out. Oh, I got out again. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so yeah, you can see actually it shows lines there, and what you're seeing is let me kind of zoom in. It's a little hard to see. these little lines that are kind of hard to see. Let me close the position we were in, the 11 contracts or whatever that we were short on. There was a profit there of $21.73 after fees or whatever. You can see what happened was I originally went in here with that one contract, and then I added 10 contracts at this price level. I exited here, so that was actually profitable because obviously this is only one contract. So if you hover, it tells you that there was a $1.25 profit loss there, actually a loss. And if you hover over the green line, it shows you there's a $37.50 profit. So it comes out to be after fees, the $21, right? And taxes and whatever else. There are other little fees that come out just like everything else, by the way, on each one of these contracts you do. But yeah, so that's what you're seeing there, though. Let me get back into that. So that's the little kind of neat thing about the orders, though. You can show these lines and your positions and everything. It's really handy. We cancel that long order. Yeah, there we go. I got my Blizzard. That's right, and get like 4 of them or 3. Inflation, man. I can only get like 2. Next week it'll be 1. Anyway, yeah. So okay. So anyway, back to the candles. The bid ask, right? So that's what you're seeing here at each one of these levels, and I won't get into too much about how these compare to each other right now. And that kind of leads into the imbalance thing. The way that you're comparing these orders is that it looks at a diagonal level. And I don't want to get too much into that right now. It's a little more deep into order flow, but that's showing you kind of your imbalances. So hypothetically speaking, what it's showing you right there is that there is a larger number of orders heavily weighted to one side, basically. It's either buyers or sellers. And again, there's really no way to know exactly who is a buyer and who's a seller, other than you can try to deduce what you're seeing in price action to kind of determine who's doing what. So I kind of want to look at that next a little bit. Um, Again, you'll probably have to do a little research on these if you want to know more about order flow or read the books on them. Trader Dale's books is really good. A few others are probably pretty good. I haven't gotten through some of them, but I read Trader Dale's mostly, and it's pretty good. Let's see here. Bid ask. And is there anything else about bid ask you guys want to know? I know it's a little bit of a crazy thing to look at. Um, Oh, the imbalance thing real quick too, I just wanna note that it's set to 3 times right now. So if you're seeing 3 times more orders. Yeah. Yeah, if you're watching this stuff during the day, by the way, this price is just moving like, I mean, it moves like instantly. Yeah, it's a tick, 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 5, 10 ticks up. I mean, if you watch it again, it's like it's crazy. Volume's nuts. It's not this slow. Not even close. Um, but yeah, again, bid ask, you're just seeing the orders at those price levels basically. You're seeing bid orders and you're seeing ask orders. You can kind of deduce, let's just get out of the imbalance thing. I know I'm stuck on that. Looking at some of these levels, you can kind of deduce like what is actually happening as you watch it. Um, Up here, obviously, there's a heavy imbalance at this point, this price level. There's a big wick up here. This is obviously going to be aggressive selling that would come, or maybe it was passive selling that took place here. So this is a selling imbalance. You know that because the candle actually the price came back down, right? So this is all selling, not all selling, but mostly heavy imbalance of selling action taking place at that price level. Um, you can't tell that by the color really, and usually if you look at my delta chart here, it should be like a white color, I believe. Oh nope, I didn't change it. Okay, sorry. I reloaded my template, I think, which was green. If I wanted to change that, I could just come in here and change the imbalance here to be like the same color if I want or whatever. Let's do that real quick. It makes it a little easier to look at for me because it's not trying to imply a color. So yeah, what you're seeing there is the selling imbalance in this little block right here because the price came back down. So as you're watching the price, look here, you can see a very nice example of a buying imbalance, like a huge one. Right here on this left side candle that came down, this humongous wick right here. You can see the price jumped up here. This is actually the opening of the session, so this is a good example. So that's what happened at the start of the day today. This is a 5-minute candle. The price jumped up there like super fast, and there was a humongous, basically there was a large order of a lot of orders, basically, or large orders of sellers coming in right here, limit orders. So they were passive selling probably. It was probably passive selling that came in here on and the limit orders that came in and pushed the price right back down. Then as you can see here, the price tried to push down into this area, and you can see there's a humongous imbalance on the bid side. This was probably actually passive buyers on the bid side that already had limit orders set in here. When the day started, they had their limit orders set up to buy here. Heavy buying going on here. So at this price level, there was heavy buying at this point in the day, which was, I don't know, whenever the market opened, 10 minutes after, 5 minutes after. So as you're watching this real time action, it's moving very fast. Usually throughout the day, if you're trading this in the regular session of the day. But these sometimes play significant. These have significant impacts on how you're looking at price action and what you're looking at in these levels, depending on how you want to view them. But you try to deduce basically when you're looking at order flow, who's doing what. That's the ultimate question: is at each one of these price levels, is this a buyer, is this a seller, are these people coming in with orders that are buys or sells? What do you think is going on, so that you can look at other things, say on your other charts, you can use other levels, your POCs, your view ops, your whatever, to help you determine, if the price comes back here, I may want to buy, because I mean, even today you can see like this low volume again, but I mean, look at this action, it bounced off VWAP, comes back down to this heavy buying area. I mean, their buyers were here, they defended, and that because I mean, you can see the price went back up instantly into VWAP, but here it came back and it tested that level again, and it went back up over VWAP. So you can use that to like kind of deduce, who's doing what at a certain degree. Again, it is very, very fast throughout the actual trading day. So it's a little bit harder, and you have to get a lot, a lot of practice in with this. And this is part of what people say, I believe, when when they say, it takes a long time of watching price action to really understand it. And this is something that I'm still learning too. This is it's an ongoing process. It's something you always are staring at and learning more about. Um, but yeah, so order flow stuff. That's what you're seeing here. Actually, I need to say this too, is a delta chart. So it slightly varies from the bid ask chart, which I'm going to put side by side now. Kind of show you the differences and what I typically look at. Is there any questions so far? I know this is a lot of craziness, and I'm probably babbling about just random stuff, which happens a lot when I try to do this because you know, I'm me. So no questions. I'll just keep going here. How long are we? Okay, I want to try to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Okay. So what you're seeing here, you can, again, it's very easy to split your charts. You can set them up like this if you want. I like them. This is actually how I would use mine in the day, along with my trading view charts. But yeah, so what you're seeing here on the left side, you're seeing the delta of the candles, and on the right, you're seeing the bid ask. So at the core, the level, this is the typical, just the footprint chart, the order flow chart. This is your bid and ask, right, on the right side. Sorry, I know I have two targets going on right now, but on the right screen, on the right chart, that is your bid and ask. That's where you're seeing the actual volume traded at each price level. On the left, what you're seeing, the delta, as Trader Dale would say, I guess. We've read a lot of Trader Dale stuff, so if you ever watch any of his videos, it's yeah, thanks, Luis. He's got some pretty good stuff, and I've picked up a lot of order flow stuff from him too, obviously. So, um, but he's got a neat accent, so he says delta, I think, or something like that. But yeah, anyway, so these are deltas of each price at each price for the contracts traded. What you're seeing here, again, you're kind of seeing the green and red colors again. And this is on the left chart, by the way. But the green side again is still your bid side, and the red side is still your ask side. That's always going to be true. What you're seeing is you see a lot of zeros here, which is kind of different from what you saw before. Instead of seeing the actual contracts traded at each price level on each side, bid and ask, you're actually just seeing which one was more heavily weighted. So looking at the current candle here, it's a little hard to see, and I'm sorry, but the order flow stuff is a little bit difficult to see at times. You get to zoom in a lot. Looking at this last candle that we're on right now, you can see the bottom of this candle had a delta of 25 to the bid side, right? That's green side, bid side. That means that here there was buying activity, and it looks like it was stronger, obviously, because the candle's still above it. Um, but to the bid side, right? And we deduce that it's buying activity because obviously the price is above it. So we don't think it was aggressive selling. We probably think that it was just passive buying that brought the limit orders, brought the price back here again. Anyway, so what you're seeing there is a delta of that price on that candle. You can see over here on the bid ask side, it's actually at 30 and it's 5. So it's 30 on the bid side, 5 on the ask side. Contracts equals 25, right? 30 minus 5. So it zeroes out the non-winning side. And so the ask side lost to this price right here. The winning side, it's the bid side here, and it has 25. Okay. So that's what you're seeing there. That's a delta at each price level per bar. So I personally like looking at the order flow stuff this way. because I really like looking at delta a lot. Because I like seeing which side is heavier weighted because it allows me to see more so than just the bid ask stuff, in my opinion. Um, it allows me to see more so of the winners, right? And what I think is happening at that side. Here's a bad example because there was really no activity there on selling. It was also just passive buying taking place. Um, but here you can see there were some orders at the top of this candle. On this one on the right, you can kind of see bid ask is kind of like, okay, well, I see a lot of numbers on each side. But at this price right here, this 38.80 price, I can see that there were 33 bid orders, 107 ask orders. And over here on this candle, I can see at that price that it was heavily weighted towards the right side, 74 delta, right? Which means that there was a heavier on the ask side, which you can deduce from this action that took place that these were sell orders that took place. Probably limit sell orders because they were passive sellers, right? Limit orders. They already had them set up in advance. So when the price got here, it pushed the price back down automatically, placed those limit orders, and that's why the delta is weighted to the ask side. Does that make sense to everyone? That's why you're seeing heavier action on the delta side, on the heavier delta on that side, the ask side. Okay. That helps out when you're looking at price action because you know that. And as you learn that and you can start to see these things as they happen more, you can see this imbalance occur as it happens, right? So you may be able to time this in real time action where you can enter and see a reversal, right? Or, not a reversal in this case, but I guess it's somewhat of a reversal because it was trending upward, I think. I don't know. Anyway, but you see what I'm saying. So you can see the actual action take place as it occurs. That's what order flow is all about, being able to see these numbers and determine what's happening in real time, uh, what's actually occurring. So again, right now there's literally zero volume going on. This is very low. So this price is barely moving. It's very difficult to see any action, but you can see a little bit there. Any questions about that stuff? I know there's a lot of craziness going on. Let's see. I'll just kind of real quick. I don't want to go too long here. I don't want to stay past 10:30. Really, it's getting a little late for everyone. But just a couple of super fast things. Brackets. You can do brackets in this. You can set them up pretty much however you want. You can do take profit stop loss, obviously, and you can set up your take profit to a number of ticks, which is very helpful. So you want to do 10 ticks, and again, if you did 10 ticks, that's 10 times $1.25, $10.25. You can do your stop loss in a different amount of ticks if you want, or you can change that to be. I think you can change this to a different amount. I think you can actually use show in ticks. So there you go. You can actually delta price or dollar value. So if you were to see, there you go, $12.50. I'm sorry, not whatever. I can't do math right now. Anyway, so $12.50 if you were doing this, you could do dollar values here. I think that was the number of contracts I had entered, whatever that was. Yeah, so if you change it, it should see the lowest you can do is $1.25 because that's one tick. There you go. So yeah, one time. Yeah, there you go. There's the math. 125 times 10 equals $69. That's right. Thanks, Dumpster Fire. So yeah, you can see that you can change it here, and that'll show you what the dollar value is. So one tick, you can see there on the bottom one is $1.25. Okay. So yeah, you can set those up however you want. You can do stop limit orders, trailing stops. I don't know what auto break even actually even is, and I probably should. I mean, it's a profit trigger thing. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't actually used that one. I've set up some brackets here as tests, but you can create whatever you want, name it. You can add in multiple targets here if you wanted to enter at a certain price. You could do that. Stop loss, take profit at certain prices. You can set all that up.
How are
And
you
when you
getting
enter,
there? Right clicking?
yeah. No. So if you go up here, there's a little settings icon right beside where it
Gotcha.
says brackets. Yeah, right by the order information. And once you save one, basically you set it up and then you save it and you select it. And from right then, when I have this selected, basically if I have this one, I don't even know what I selected there, but so if I did take profit stop loss at $25 and $15. So right now, if I place an order here, say I short it, right? So I just did that. I placed an order for 10 contracts on a short. You can see here that it automatically did whatever I told it to, which was a take profit and a stop loss. So here on the screen, on this left chart, you can see up here at 38.74.50, there's a stop. I think I went short, so there's a take profit down here at 38.66. You can drag these also after you place them. This is my stop up here. So if I wanted to move it up a little bit, I could do that and it automatically changes. If I want to move my take profit up, I could do that. Like here, say I wanted to go something drastic and just get out of it a little quicker if it came to this price, I could do that, right? It's all automatic and it's very easy to do. Say I wanted to remove my stop, right? I can click that and it goes away. And then you can also, really cool, handy thing that I found. You can actually just, if I was getting moved against too fast or your futures are very crazy, you can hit exit and market and cancel, and it just does everything all at once. So right then it did the opposite of whatever contracts I had opened. So if you ever get in freak out mode where you're like, oh, I'm going to go short like too many contracts or whatever. Oh God, I just did like 30 contracts, right? Yeah, that's horrible. Like I didn't mean to do that, right? Say, oh no, okay. So I'm negative $75 right now. Right here, this button, look, I'm negative 112 off 30 contracts that fast. What is that? 1 or 2 ticks? Yeah, check that out. Very dangerous, okay, especially without stops. So make sure you're, checking that out because this is what 30 contracts looks like right here if you want to see these tick movements. Negative 187, negative 150, negative 187. So, 30 times. Yeah, there you go. Whatever math that was the dumpster gave us. All right. So if I get freaked out here and I got, oh God, I got to, you can also have other options. You can reverse and cancel all, but if you have a oh shit button here, I guess you could say, right? Click it and you're out. Okay. It got you out. So you can see your loss there. Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't too bad. We only lost $231, right? Okay. So very dangerous. So make sure you guys fully understand, like, everything about this before you try to jump in. Let me say this too, real quick about Tradovate, which is something I meant to say up front. The way their accounts work, you have a demo account and a regular live account. As long as you keep like $50 in the regular live account, you can use the trading simulation account all you want, like no matter what, right? As long as you keep that $50 in there, they don't care. You can use the simulation account forever, which is really cool. It does cost like $3 a month to get the futures information at a level 1 level, which is for all you need for what we're doing here. This chart trading. If you wanted to do more, it would be like $15 a month. I think that's level 2. And I don't want to get into DOM trading, but you've probably seen the DOM. That's what that is, level 2 data. You need it for that. But if you just wanted to do this, it's only $3 a month. You can reset your balance at any time. You can set it to whatever number you want. So that's really cool in the simulated account, obviously. Unless I wish it was a live account. I wish I could set my number to anything I wanted. But no, sequence actually, I mean, because I was just messing around at the end there. I took a 30 contract position, options at it, and it dunked us like from it was a $20 profit down to like a negative 231 loss in like 2 minutes. I don't know. Yeah. But that's fine because it wasn't real. We're just doing the demo account, okay? Yeah, wild swings, man. If you like look at all this, it's crazy. So I mean, you can set up your you can choose different amounts of contracts here, so you can do like 2 at a time, or if you're playing it safe, you can do 1 at a time. Again, buying that one contract, you got to have a minimum amount in your account, say the $100 or $55 or whatever it is. I know the minimum's like the $55 or whatever for the contract itself. But again, if that moved that against you at any ticks, you would just be liquidated instantly. If you only had $55 in there, that's kind of how that works. So I mean, the bare minimum, you would probably start at like $100, but moves against you, you're kind of messed up there. So anyway, that's basically it. Any questions? I don't want to go too long. I know I've been rambling. Sorry about that. It happens. No questions. All questions. No questions. We can do this again later too. Later a few weeks or something. Kind of go into more advanced stuff, or just talk about more charting, or just the order flow itself. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's a learning process. It's going to be it's very intricate and very tough learning process involved with this. But it's mostly just watching the action. You know. Yeah, I would definitely say like, trading on the demo account's always kind of double edged or whatever. But with futures, it's kind of like you really need to know what you're doing. Obviously, because can move against you easily and you're just instantly liquidated. It's a margin, you got to be very careful. So not that I'm giving you financial advice, because I have no idea and I'm not going to give you financial advice. That's up to you guys to decide if you want to use it or not. But I'm just kind of showing you the technical side, of how I use it, So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's how I use it. If you guys have any technical questions, you can ask me those, but let me know. I'm always available in the Discord too, so leave me in a DM or whatever if you need to. But no questions, not even Dumpster. He was been waiting for this for like months. Okay. All right. I guess we're done then. All right, you guys good? No more questions, right?
Thanks, Sequence.
All right, guys. All right, yeah, you should feel good there, Dumpster. That's good. All right, sorry that was a little random, guys, but there you go. That's all we got right now.
No, you
We'll
did
do
good.
some more later on.
You
Thanks,
did
man.
good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, no worries. Appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, no PowerPoints.